Okay, this is Ben Ellis, and he's going to tell us about his clinical experience.
Well, my clinical experience, I felt part of the team when I went in there. My first clinical experience. From that point on, all the older EMTs and paramedics, they treated me like I was part of the team. I was in the family. I was in the clique. That's what I really liked about this whole. It's like a brotherhood. The cops, EMS, fire. It's like one big brotherhood out on the street, and that's one of the things I like about it. And one of my clinical experiences, one of my favorite clinical experiences, was also one of my weirdest ones because we went out on a domestic dispute, and there we are. We're with the patient that wants to go to the hospital, and she's in handcuffs, and I'm with EMS guys. There's four of us. There's like three fire walk up. There's like two cops to my left, three fire to my right, and it's just all like one big group. No one's looking at me like, "Who are you? What are you doing here? What's this kid doing here?" And it's just like they looked at me like I was part of EMS, and that was one of the highlights of my clinical experience.
Hi, I'm Haley, and this is Destiny, and she's going to tell us about her clinical experience. How did your clinicals impact your viewpoint on EMS profession?
I think before EMS or before I went on clinicals, like in this class, I was thinking like they wouldn't be not educated, but just like they didn't care and they were just kind of like numb to life, I guess. And when I went on clinicals, I really saw how they connected with patients and how they did things and how when they would go on a call, what they did to make it themselves and to put themselves into it, and not be completely numb.
And what was your favorite and worst clinical?
My favorite clinical was probably my last clinical. The crew that I was with was very welcoming. They welcomed me in, and then when we would go on calls, they completely let me take over the call and asked me what I would do instead of just saying, okay, go put the blood pressure cuff on. They really let me do it and then corrected me later and didn't embarrass me or anything like that. My worst clinical was I think it was my second clinical, and I was by myself, and I was with a horrible crew. They were so slobby, and they didn't care about anything or anyone, and they were totally rude. They cussed about my teacher in front of me and in front of a little elderly patient that we went with, and it was just an ongoing making fun of people. They were unhappy people in general.
Okay, and how did this class impact your life?
This class has impacted me in so many areas. Mr. Martin is definitely, and Cassie has had a huge, they've just really made a place in my heart, and they've really taken the time to reach out to me whenever I've been going through something and really cared about me personally and not just in the class. They've taught me a lot of things, like, no one goes hungry. That's really been, because I've never really thought about it, that, there is people in America that do go hungry, and that's important. Like, you need food to survive. They've just showed me that I can really be me and not worry about other things, because, like, I'm okay the way I am, and I just love them for that.
Hi, I'm Haley, and this is Russell, and he's going to tell us about his clinical experience. Okay. How did your clinicals impact your viewpoint of the EMS profession?
Well, my viewpoint on the EMS profession, it kind of made me want to do it more. I see how they do things and how they work, and they work real hard. And they really care, most of them really care about their patients. And that's something that I kind of wanted to be like and have a lot of care for people.
And what was your favorite and worst clinical?
My favorite clinical was I had a head-on collision, and there were 3 helicopters. And I got to do a lot of cool stuff and help out on that one. So that was my favorite one.
What cool stuff did you get to do?
I got to hold the IV bag and help get the leads on and set him up and help carry them out of the car, pull him out of the car. I held his legs and pulled him out and loaded him on the cot and rolled him up to the ambulance. Stuff like that. Cool hands-on stuff. Got blood all over me. It was lots of fun.
And your worst clinical?
My worst clinical was a lady who had a suspected seizure or a stroke. Something turned out not to be really anything, but she had crap all over the place and it was all over the walls, and I had to clean it up and like put her new clothes on her and everything, and it smelled really bad and it was nasty and she was very rude, but I had to keep being nice to her. So
Okay, how did this class impact your life?
well, this class hasn't just impacted my life, it's changed my life, because now I have the opportunity to go out and help people, and now I can make a job out of it, have a profession.